When you are called as a note arts, as an emergency doctor, and you reach there and you see there is a 14-year-old who has been hit by a speeding car, and has flown 2 meters and then fallen and has been unconscious since then. And it has been already 14-15 minutes. Now you are the boss. Now you have to tell what is to be done. You say, okay, fine. I mean, this is a standard head trauma, and I'm a doctor since 10 years. I have done no arts training. I have seen several such cases, been there, done that. So, not a big deal. It's it's routine. One can manage. Okay, fine. You give orders. Fine, we'll stabilize the patient, put stiff neck and then head. We'll put the spine board, and then we will move the patient to the in the ambulance, where you can intubate the patient in peace, because you remember you are on middle of the road, where the police is there, where the fire department is there. Everyone wants to watch. People are in the crowd. Someone, the mother or some relative is crying or shouting at the one end. You can hear that she's her cries and her um, what's it her frustration. She does not know what's going to happen. What she knows is that that child is lying unconscious on the road, is not moving. Yeah, you say that, okay, fine, we'll do this. We'll take the child in the ambulance and we'll intubate. While intubating, you get into trouble. The problem with fresh traumas is that one has always assumed that you are not nil by mouth. In German, it's called Nüchtern. That means Nüchtern is a person who has not eaten for 6 hours. Okay, not eaten, not drink, had anything to drink for 6 hours. We always assume that person is not Nüchtern. Now, you tell the paramedic that, okay, you have to do oxygen saturation, you have to bring up the saturation, and then you say that, okay, the Maskenbeatmung, um, the bagging that you are doing has to be less, because you don't want him to aspirate. As you're saying that, the patient vomits, and then you say, oh, now it's going to be trouble. And then do suction, you remove it, try to remove everything. You do the tubus, the Gudel tubus, then you suction again. Then you say that, okay, now you give medicines so that you can intubate, because now, till now, the saturation was stable. Saturation was above 85 all the time. But now, and then you thought that, okay, with 85 you can improve and you can go above 90 with intubation. But now it's falling. Now it's falling. And by the time you give medicines, by the time you do suction, it is falling to 75. Now, if that remains for a long time, for several minutes, it will cause brain damage. And this patient already has probably brain damage, because he's unconscious, his GCS is 3. You then try intubation. With that, all that aspirate in the mouth, it's difficult to see the vocal cords. You cannot see that. You try that again. You hope, you wish that somebody, those few minutes of intubation, that time you wish that magically God gives you that skill, that strength to put that tube into his vocal cords, in the lungs, the trachea. You wish that there was someone who was more experienced and more skilled than you are, and they take over and they do it, because here that 14-year-old is lying in front of you, just few minutes away from death. If you are not able to get that tube in his trachea, if you are not able to blow up the lungs, he is going to definitely die in next few minutes, or will have permanent brain damage. That few minutes, or that That time that you spend, you don't realize how much time it went by. And by the time you do it, someone tells you that, okay, doctor, it has been already half an hour since trauma. Now we should speed up the things, go fast. Now things that, yes, you know that it's half an hour. But if you don't do it, patient's going to die in next 2 minutes. You say, I will do it, and then magically, with some maneuvers, with some changes, in some change of the shape of the tube, the size of the spatula of the laryngoscope, you somehow manage to put that tube in the trachea, and then you check it. It is really properly. It's proper. The saturation starts going up, and then those few there's couple of minutes which you are struggling to, where that struggle is of such helplessness, and that struggle is of such stress, not helplessness, that is the wrong word. That struggle is of so much responsibility, so much responsibility, that you think of that mother who was crying on the street for her child, and here you are, and now it is upon your skill, your knowledge, and your stress management, that how many things, what has to be the sequence, what do you do, what things you take care of. It is not that you're doing it the first time, you have done this before, but every time that feeling, that stress, that responsibility of a human life right in front of you does not reduce. I myself have been a doctor since more than 10 years now. I've worked in different countries at different positions as a medical student, as an intern, now as a doctor. I've done my specialization in orthopedics and trauma surgery. That means with the title of trauma surgeon, you always feel that you are the person who should be doing it. Who else? If you not, then who else? But still, that feeling, that responsibility does not go away. It is there every time you face such situations. Then, with these feelings, when you think otherwise, when medical profession, it's very hard work. It's, I would say, lots of unnecessary work also we do most of the times. And financial benefits or the remuneration for that, in comparison to what other professions offer, is not that good, I would say. The work that you do in medicine is very mostly non scalable. You're working at one patient, you're doing one operation, you're doing one thing. It cannot be done for 10 other people at the same time. The work that you do is non scalable. You have to go, you cannot do remote work. I mean, you can do remote work when you're doing radiology or dermatology. But as a trauma surgeon, you have to be there. You have to do night duties, physical work, and mental work. The work is too much, the stress is too much, and the remuneration for that is not that high in other parts of the world apart from USA. But then you think that, okay, would it not be better if I was some businessman delivering food and earning millions by that? Or some YouTube star dancing in front of the camera and earning millions and living a good lifestyle on a beach with a laptop in my hand? Because that is what all millionaires do. They sit on the beach and with laptops in their hand, right? So, is being a doctor the best thing for me? So, it's not that I don't have these kind of thoughts. Everyone has these kind of thoughts, especially in the today's social media world, when you see everyone flaunting the wealth, their time. People want to win their own time. I want to win my own time. I don't want to spend my time for other people, for other corporations, for other hospital entities. So I want to win my own time, because our time is limited on this earth. Our work that has to be done or that should be done for ourselves, for society, for the family is too much. But those couple of minutes of that thrill, that responsibility, and successfully achieving that, I don't know if that is worth everything that I've just said. Sitting on a beach, relaxing, spending just playing on your laptop or working on your laptop and earning millions by that. I don't know if those couple of minutes of thrill or couple of minutes of responsibility uh, can make for it, but people who are in medical profession or who are doing this kind of acute job, everyone who works in hospital does not experience this. When you're working in a team, when you're doing work like a machine, that okay, when patient comes, has been operated for senior people or everything in controlled environment, and then that is also significant. But there you don't see that things don't change in seconds. Obviously in trauma surgery and emergency medicine things change in seconds, but for other branches things here, you take one step and you see the effect. You put one medicine, you see the effect, and within few seconds you see the effect. That way, I don't know if it's worth it, that leaving everything and doing this thing, but I feel that is the value of it. You change the course of life of a human. He might order food from different uh, millionaires company. He might play on Apple phone, or he might watch a movie at multiplex and enjoy ice cream from a corporation. But his life saving that time, you were the one who saved it. It is not only important for the patient, but it's also important for the morale of the medical professionals to recognize this. That with this profession, you will not be super rich, that you know already. But this feeling, if it keeps coming, that gives value to your life. What you are doing is valuable. May not be scalable, but valuable to those very few people whom whose life you have touched, whose life you have saved, whose life course of life you have changed. You have changed. Here it's going on a note of hyperbole. That's that you don't change it. It's all in the God's hand, and you are just an instrument of God. I totally acknowledge that. I'm humble about it, but you are the instrument. So this is the thought which I have. It's not the first time that I have these thoughts, but I thought this time let me share this with other colleagues. Most people who watch my videos are medical professionals, medical students. If you have gone through such experiences, such situations, and if it has changed your thought, your mentality, your value for the work that you do write in comment section. I will certainly read all the comments, and I hope to receive comments for this video. Thank you.